sentence, so we don't do that in the Boy Scouts. I just want to point that out. So I wrapped up another exciting summer of 25 nights down at Barnell Scout Reservation, and it's a little more than an air-conditioned tent, I will tell you that. But usually when I stand in front of a group this big, I usually say, "Tribe's gonna rise." Some of you know what that means, some of you don't, and it's okay. You can ask one of your neighbors. But and then somebody asked me if I was Native American. I am not a Native American Indian, and I'll talk about why I get the opportunity to wear that headdress and a few times a summer. But before I get into my talk, I wanted to introduce the guest I brought with me, Reese Lamb. Would you stand up, please? So Reese served 2 summers with us as an international counselor. We bring folks in from around the world to work at both our camps. So he's been with us 2 years. He's originally from London, now recently relocated to Scotland. Reese actually lived at Gilwell Park, which was kind of the founding spot of scouting. Baden Powell started that as a training facility for folks going through Woodbatch. His father was the executive director of Gilwell Park. And what's kind of interesting, the Rotary, while Reese lived there, the Highland Park Rotary Club met at Gilwell Park, and Reese would help support that event each week. So he's been a great addition to our staff, and I wanted to bring him to Rotary today. I do have, I believe, 2 board members that are here today, Bill Essery and Perry Antha. Did I miss anybody? I think that's it, right? You guys stand. Thanks for what you do for the council. All right, this is going to be scouting faster than you've ever heard it. You're going to get such an influx of knowledge about scouting, you won't know what hits you. So we're going to go kind of quick so we can get to the end and talk about some questions. And my goal today is to give you a little broader scope of what scouting is about in the heart of America Council. So we'll start off, we have Cub Scouts, 1st through 5th grade boys. This fall, we'll sign up 5,000 new Cub Scouts from 464 elementary schools. We are all in on that. Boy Scouts, 11 to 18 years old, venturing. Some of you older guys may not remember venturing. That was exploring when you were a kid. So that is co-ed, 14 to 20-year-old. Frankly, we serve a lot of young ladies to that program. And then exploring is co-ed, same age, career specific. We have about 48 career explorer posts throughout the council. Mostly, the biggest cluster areas are students interested in law enforcement, firefighting, medical careers, engineering, emergency services are really the big ones. And that's a great opportunity for kids to get a chance to see what that career is about. Our biggest one is Black and Beach, which has about 160 students in it. And if you want to learn about being an engineer while you're in high school before you go off to college and spend that money, it's a great way to get at it. The Heart of America Council serves a 19-county area, 30,000 youth and 1,100 packs and troops. Again, just a little history. In 1974, Kansas City, Kansas was the CAW Council, and then we had the Kansas City Area Council on the Missouri side. In 1974, they merged together. That was pretty edgy and certainly ahead of its time, and that gave us the 19-county area you see today. Each one of those colored areas is a geographic district where I've got at least 1 or 2 full-time professionals that provide scouting to the volunteers within that area. Just a year ago, we added 4 new districts, and it's all about customer service. We were able to add some staff, and we made the service area smaller so we could provide better service to those unit leaders that deliver scouting every day. Just some quick hits on scouting, and I would encourage you, on your table is an infographic, a year-end summary. This is kind of a high-level view of some of the things we've gotten into. But one of the things, 32 years with the Boy Scouts in 7 cities, you need to know that scouting in Kansas City is as good as it gets anywhere in the country. This is like a mothership. It actually is. And we've got great traditions, great history, and great volunteer base, and it speaks volumes for Kansas City. We serve 25% of the market share. So that means if you drive anywhere in that 19-county area, 1 out of every 4 boys is a scout. The national average is about 12. And 25% is a blessing and a curse, because we are a growth organization. So growing, you think about your business, if you serve 25% of your market, how do you grow that? And I'm going to talk a little bit later about some of the marketing things that we do today that make things a little different. With those 30,000 youth, and this is significant, 14,800 registered adult leaders. That doesn't count all the parents that drive the campouts and help out. 14,000 registered adult leaders. Last year, the Eagle Scout class numbered 907. That was our 3rd largest class of Eagle Scouts ever in the history of the council. and that's about the tradition and the history of Kansas City. We're big on community service, giving back. We want to teach our scouts that it's about giving back to the communities they live in. We know that that will serve them later in life. Last year, our scouts did 196,000 hours of community service. We presented $124,000 in camperships. No scout should not go to camp because they can't have the financial means to do so. And then in our assistance to individuals, mostly our urban scouting program, that was about $340,000. That's transportation, uniforms, meals where needed. And our operating budget's about $10 million. We have a full-time staff of 68, and in the summer our staff grows by an additional 420 summer camp employees. So we'll give you a little history lesson here. So H. Rowe Bartle, we all know Bartle. Bartle was actually the scout executive in Kansas City, so I'm going to give you a little lesson. He was born in 1901 in Virginia. He went on to become the scout executive in Wyoming in 1922. The Boy Scouts were founded in 1910. So I can only imagine in 1922 going to Wyoming and say start scouting. He actually got married when he was out there, and he brought his wife from Kentucky out to Wyoming. I'm sure that was a moment. In 1925, so he did 3 years in Wyoming. They said he did a good job. They sent him to St. Joseph, Missouri, where he was the scout executive. From 1928 to 1955, 27 years, he served as a scout executive of Kansas City, Missouri. He was called the chief because he was the first chief of the tribe of Mickasay, which is our honor camper program, and that ties in. So he was the first chief. I am the 9th chief of the tribe. He established the tribe of Mickasay a year after coming to Kansas City in 1929. This year, the tribe of Mickasay, it's an honor or a camper youth leadership development program. We inducted our 80,000th member. So 80,000 folks have gone through that program in Kansas City. Became the mayor of Kansas City, and again, he was known as the chief. So in 1963, Lamar Hunt and he are talking, and they said, we're going to bring the Dallas Texans to Kansas City. And Lamar Hunt, so the story goes, and I've read it, said, well, we can't call them the Texans, what should we call them? And Bartle says, I don't care. And Lamar Hunt says, how about we call them the Chiefs after you? And the chief being the chief of the tribe of Mickasay. He was continued to be called chief as the mayor of Kansas City. But, so the Chiefs, without the Boy Scouts, you wouldn't have the Chiefs. I just want to point that out. And he passed in 1974, but certainly a legacy to the scouting program in Kansas City. Another legacy is the Eagle Scout Fountain on Gillum Road. So that actually came from the Pennsylvania Railroad Station in New York City in 1968. And you want to see something interesting? Google Pennsylvania Railroad Station. That was a clock. There were 4 clocks, north, south, east, and west, over each door of the railroad station. So that was actually a clock face. And Twink Star and Martha Jane Starr coordinated the movement of that artwork from New York City to Kansas City on Kansas City Southern's help. And today, that is the Eagle Scout Fountain, and it was built to recognize all Eagle Scouts in the Kansas City area. It is iconic. There's nothing like it anywhere in the country. You go by any weekend, fall, spring, you will see scouts, new Eagle Scouts with their parents, having their picture taken out by the fountain. We operate H. Rowe Bartle Scout Reservation. It's 4,200 acres near Osceola, Missouri. If you've been to St. Clair County, Missouri, I will tell you that is one of the most rural counties in Missouri. And when we're full swing, we can put about 6,000 people on the reservation. Visitors Sundays, we get about 3,000 to 4,000 people show up to visit their scouts. It is the largest operating Boy Scout camp run by a local council in the United States. Great tradition, great operation. There's actually 3 camps on the reservation. And our opportunity is how do we make it better? How do we serve more youth? So 6,000 scouts, and what's impressive is they bring 3,100 adult leaders. So that means there's 1 adult volunteer for every 2 boys, and our camp is a 10-day camp, and that's a tradition that lives on. We're the last 10-day camp, Boy Scout camp in the United States. Everybody else goes 6 or 7 days. So at Bartle Scout Reservation, the last few years have been a real whirlwind of improvements. A lot of new construction, several $1 million in capital improvements. Upper left, one of 3 brand new council rooms. Upper right is the one of the Protestant chapels. Because we run 10 days, most camps, you arrive on Saturday and you leave on Sunday morning. There is no Sunday service church service. Our kids are there on Sunday. So our chapels, we have 3 Protestant chapels that hold 450 each, and then we have Chapel Hill, which has all the other denominations. And as a leader told me once, we know that a lot of kids don't get that exposure at home. And the leader's line was, son, I don't care which chapel service you go to, but you're going to one. And we know that for many, that's their first exposure. So that's a big deal to get that redone. Bottom left, we built a new BMX bike track, trying to stay competitive, edgy, let the kids have a fun time. And bottom right, because we are in rural Missouri in St. Clair County, we had a donor help us with a helipad, and we have a full-service medical clinic. KU doctors help staff that, and we can get you out of there in about 20 minutes, and that's needed when you're serving as many kids and leaders as we do. One of the things that's grown in the last 5 years is the Camp Staff College Scholarship Program. I will tell you, you can have great facilities, you can have great food, but if you don't have a great staff, it doesn't matter how good your camp is. So 6 years ago, we were giving out about $50,000 in Camp Staff College Scholarships. We brought some folks together and said, this is important, this is going to help our camp. So today, that endowment's about $1.3 million, and this year we gave out $150,000 to those young men. The minimum gift was $1,250. I think they're going to 46 different colleges and universities. So we've seen a real impact on our retention of our scouts. Other improvements, skilled trades workday. We bring the union down. That's a new one for us. This last one, once a year, 180 skilled trades union guys came down, roofing, plumbing, electrical, concrete work. Theater and NASCAR reservation in Bonner Springs. That primarily camped lots of Cub Scouts, and then fall and spring, a lot of Boy Scouts, but year-round, about 42,000 youth participate in the camp there. One of the things we just completed 2 years ago, where FEMA helped us with storm shelters at all our camps. It was about a $4 million project, and each one of those buildings will hold 150 individuals, and then we have the activity shelter on top. Rotary camp, so somebody mentioned it. We started at Rotary camp in 1925. I don't know if we're the first group ever to be out there. This year we had 68, it's all special needs scouts, and we had 68 scouts, and obviously the scouts to staff ratio is a big deal, 65 in attendance. We love that program, we love the facility, and we love giving back to Rotary camp. What is the impact of scouting in Rotary Club 13? All right, any Eagle Scouts in the audience? Stand up. Let's go, gotta move on, keep standing. Congratulations. Who's our oldest Eagle Scout? What year? Keep standing. Oldest Eagle Scout. Charlie, I don't know. Perry, what year? 76. Anybody before 1976? 62. Anybody beat that? 47. All right, Reese. We got a handbook for the oldest Eagle Scout in attendance. Now, back up. Come on, you guys. Follow directions. Eagle Scout, stand up. Youngest Eagle Scout. Who got their Eagle Scout the most recent? When? 99. Anybody beat that? All right, Reese. Field book there. Nice job. So Eagle Scouts, keep standing. We're going to go through this real quick. Anyone who's a parent of an Eagle Scout, stand up. Anyone who's in Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts, stand up. Anyone who volunteered for scouting, stand up. Anyone with a child or grandchild in scouting, stand up. All right, for the rest of you, I got you. Anyone who knows a Boy Scout, stand up. That's killing me. We have a long reach, we truly do. And to our Eagle Scouts, thank you. I'm going to skip through that. I wanted to give a few stats. So what do kids do today? Extracurricular activities. So what that tells you, if poverty or not, kids are in about 30% of youth participate in clubs, and obviously the economic scale goes down. Fewer participate. Sports, about 40. What it tells us, there's a great opportunity. That number is actually going down every year. We track that. So there is an opportunity to help kids find alternative ways to connect, develop leadership skills, social interaction. This one kind of took my breath away. Weekly, I had to call the guy that sent this to me, because I thought maybe it was monthly. So this is weekly hours that children, teenagers, spend on the Xbox or the computer. So as you look, 30% spend 10 to 14 hours a week playing video games. We'd much rather have them outside, and our camps are yours. This was one we did, North Kansas City School Districts. We wanted to do a study, so we put 500 scouts randomly selected. They picked off that are North Kansas City students, and then 500 students of equals that were not scouts. And what we found out was our scouts had better grades, better attendance, better conduct. No surprise, but that's the message that we want to put out to parents who maybe aren't aware of the impact that scouting will have on their lives. Scout Reach is probably our biggest opportunity, inner city scouting. How do you bring scouting to the inner city youth who are transient, not too many two-parent families? This year we will serve 3,910 inner city youth through 175 packs and troops. We partner with Link in Kansas City, Missouri, and Kids Zone in Kansas City, Kansas. The biggest challenge we have is adult leaders. And, you know, if you were in Scouts, you remember that Scoutmaster that gave up a few hours every week, a weekend a month to go camping. So we pay 36 paraprofessionals to run those meetings, and that becomes the continuity line. Those kids need to see the same person week after week, and they need to know them by name. So we've had some real growth on that. We asked them to do community service as well, and one of the things we measure is how many of those scouts advance a rank and go camping. We're having a significant impact on that, but more room to grow. This is some of our Scout Reach pictures. Bottom right's my favorite. Fairfax General Motors plant hosts a Pinewood Derby every year for our inner city scouts, and just a great event for them to come and be a part of. Dig Day, new event for us, community outreach. How do you get kids connected to their community? We went to the Kansas City, Missouri Parks Department and we said, we got kids, what do you got? And it took about 2 years to finally define what that was. They plant 83 flower beds, 24,000 perennials, and it takes them 2 months to plant those flowers. They prep the beds before Mother's Day, then they start planting after Mother's Day, 2 months. So I said, we got this. We put 600 scouts together with leaders, and on the Saturday before Mother's Day, we planted 83 flower beds, 24,000 flowers in half a day. In, out, done. Kansas City went green. And as I like to say, any kid that goes down Ward Parkway that was part of that program, till the day he dies, he will tell his grandchildren, anybody in the car, when I was a scout, I planted those flowers. And we're going to continue to push that out to other communities. Eagle Scouts, we brought back the Eagle Scout reception that used to be at the music hall. It went away in 1979. It was expensive and it's a lot of moving parts, but it's important. So as it was done in the past, we named that Eagle Scout class after a distinguished Kansas City leader. Last year was Don Hall Jr. Interestingly enough, in 1961, Joyce Hall was the class honoree. And I can tell you today, I confirmed it last week, Clark Hunt will be next year's honoree. And how cool for those kids to stand on that stage and know they're part of something bigger. We just opened a new Scout store. We know that the Liberty area is our fastest growing market, the greater Kansas, Liberty and Olathe, the fastest growing youth markets in the Kansas City area. So we opened a 3,700 square foot Scout store right across from Metro North Mall. Nice addition, good branding, good awareness in the Northland. Where are we going in the future? Increase youth served and program delivery in our inner city scouting program. That's forever, and that will always be a financial carry. Increase our youth retention. Our youth retention is 80%. You need to know, anywhere in the country, they would die to have that. We were at 78% last year. We're going to get there. So we talk about acquisition, we talk about retention. We want to make sure they have a great experience once they join. We want to grow the career awareness exploring posts. We know that kids don't know what they want to do when they go to college and spend a lot of money heading the wrong way. We're into a pretty big capital development campaign that's getting ready to kick off that will improve and expand our camping facilities for decades. And then August, a year from today, we will bring 15,000 scouts and leaders to this Kansas Speedway for our second annual Scouting 500, and that's one you need to come see. Thanks to Charlie Hoffman, we have new billboards just went up, and I wanted to show you one of those, Charlie. Thanks for the work you do. These are awesome. There's commercials that tie with that, and again, how do you grow 25% market share? You got to find new ways to get at it. Can we make that one quick? Maybe. We're going to go, yeah, we're tight, that's so long. I don't know if you can see that. That's the Marriott building, and they did a little deal with us where they put our Boy Scout logo on the building at one of our big fundraising events. And Kansas City is a Scout town, and I will tell you, Kansas City is a better place because the Boy Scouts are here, and the only reason we do so well is the incredible commitment of volunteers that we have, and I am truly fortunate to be the Scout Executive of the Heart American Council. So that's what I got.
Thank you. We're going to see if there's a couple of questions from the group. Al?
Now, Denny, hold your fire. This isn't exactly a question, but it's kind of a testament. You know, this chair we sit in, you bring it up to the table of life, there was 4 legs. And one of those legs was my parents. My dad taught me investing, a Coke driver, my mother's sensitivity. The second one was the precious blood nuns, and taught me how to take tests and get into St. Louis High, 200 out of 1,200. Third one was a librarian. My partner, business partner, across the hall in our 4-family flat, we would earn $4. And the second day we were $8, we'd go up to the bank, and we would invest that money. But on the way back, we saw this librarian at Carpenter Branch, and he said, "You young men have to expand your life, you know, from the 4-family flat and apartments and stuff." And we did Famous Americans, do book reports. Every 5 books, get a little button, got to go one every year for 2 years. The fourth thing was key, was the Boy Scouts. Mr. Bogle, Mr. Munganess, and others really helped us, and they were a key part. In 1992, I spent an abbreviated summer camp with the Air Commandos, and the guys that had Boy Scouts really did well. I mean, we were on target. I just hope and pray, and I feel excited. I grew up in St. Louis, Troop 20, but Kansas City is really neat that people support this great organization. Thank you.
Ken, thanks for your presentation. Just a reminder to all of us, Chief Roe Bartle was president of Club 13, as you know, sometime in the 50s, I've forgotten, but he was also district governor in 1939, so we've got a nice tie in there. The question, what happened to the Sea Scouts and the Sea Scout ship I used to belong to?
Sea Scouts are still part of the Boy Scouts. We're not as water fortunate here. I was Scout Executive in Cleveland, and every yacht club had a Sea Scout ship in Cleveland. But I will tell you a little back, the first Air Scout ship, which we don't have anymore, was founded at Louisville Airport through TWA back in the day. So, yeah.
Steve and then Henry. So Steve, go ahead.
It seems like there's Scout families and they continue. Then it seems like there's people who are non-Scout families who really don't seem to have much knowledge or involvement, or they just don't seem to fit. And it seems to me in a day when we're all looking at devices, that's an audience that needs things like scouting. Are you doing anything to break through that?
I'm not going to get this right, but it's called fencing. We bought, and we have a great technology committee of volunteers. So if you go to any youth area in greater Kansas City right now, we're pushing, going to all these elementary schools, Deanna Rose, soccer park, movie theaters. If you open your browser, the first ad that will come up, not by your choice, by mine, will be a joint Boy Scout ad. And we actually we're piloting it on our own, like online app to join, so you don't have to go to the school. We know that people, value their time. So we've had 2. It just went live yesterday, and 2 found it in spite of us, but we're getting there.
Thank you. Henry, last question.
Okay, as a proud father of 3 Eagle Scouts, how is, in this culture of smartphones, how is scouting navigating those devices at camp these days? I mean,
yeah, and I had a guy tell me that bringing Wi-Fi to camp will be the death of the Boy Scouts. When I got here, you couldn't use Wi-Fi, you couldn't get on at Bartle Scout Reservation, again where it is. We brought that tech committee together, and today you can sit outside any dining hall or in it, and you can get on the Wi-Fi, and we now have an AT&T cell tower that we work with AT&T out of St. Louis. This is just outside of camp. It's coming. We have troops that say, don't bring your cell phones, they're not allowed. It's coming. I was going to show you the stat of the number of kids that actually own an iPhone, teenagers. I mean, it's crazy. So you can say you can't bring them in, it's not part of life, but it is, and we need to change with it. So we continue to work on our delivery of technology.
Ken, first, thank you.